In this video, I'm going to show you a really simple painting to demonstrate some of Procreate's adjustment features really clearly. It'll also be good to show you how you can just start painting without any line work and just start experimenting. First, I kind of want to put myself back in the position of when I was first starting out with digital painting and trying to figure out all the different tools and how to incorporate that into what I was doing. And it's going to be a big learning curve. So I would say one of the main things I want to express is that you shouldn't feel disappointed if what you're drawing doesn't match up to, your favorite artist's drawing. Because of course they've put in thousands of hours into what they're doing, and a lot of times when you're watching a demo or time-lapse video, there's a lot of thought or experience that they have that goes into it that you don't see anymore. So in this example, I just want to quickly draw like a house with some plants to keep things really simple in terms of shapes and colors, and show you how you can use some of the digital tools at your disposal. Use the different tools to experiment with adjustments and playing around with your design and being able to really be flexible and without having to start all over. So in this case, I am drawing out a design that I have in my mind without any line work initially, but as a beginner I would really recommend just doing what helps you focus on digital painting first. So if you already know what you want to draw flowers or you want to draw stars or something like that, then go for it. But if thinking about the drawing itself is holding you back, then yeah, start with the class sample or something else that's already ready to go, so that you're not distracting yourself from what you're trying to learn. And let's just put some plants in front of it. And so this is a good example. Say I wasn't really sure whether I wanted a door here or not, and I've already drawn those leaves there, so maybe originally you might think, oh well, I can't really go back, I've already decided those leaves are there. With digital painting, that is not the case. So I can put this door behind these leaves and then move these leaves around. So let me put that on a different layer. So I did a 3-finger swipe down and then cut and paste that puts it automatically onto a new layer. Hit this transform key and just move it over. And with this door, I don't love it. I don't hate it. Maybe what it is that it's just not quite the right size. So again, I put this on a new layer. I hit the transform button and let me see what it looks like just smaller. And I like that a lot more. Maybe the color isn't quite right. So with that still selected, I'm going to go to the hue saturation area and play around with what a different color might look like. And in this case, let's see. Let's try something brighter. Yeah, I think I like the hue. It was just a little bit too dark. So that feels a lot better to me. And now these other dark lines are a little bit too dark. What I can do is either do the same thing, adjust those colors with the hue saturation options, or I can use the eyedropper tool to pick this color, go to this layer, lock it again with a 2-finger swipe to the right, and that means I can't color outside of any paint pixels that I haven't already put down, and now I can just color over it. What's nice about that is that maybe I like a little bit of the dark, so there's a little bit of dimension to it, and I just color over the parts that I want. And now you can just keep playing with that to play with your design. So say this house I feel like is either too short or too tall. I can put that into a new group. All I did was swipe left on all of the layers I want to group together, and with them highlighted, I hit this icon right here and it puts it into a new group, which we can rename Little House. I can hit transform now and see what it looks like. What if it was taller, or what if it was shorter? Kind of like the squatter look. And maybe I want to bring it out a little more. You can also play with perspective with this. So I can move it like this. You just click and hold the corner for you to only adjust that point. And now there's kind of like this top-down effect, which is interesting, but I don't want to do that, so I can undo each of those manipulations. There's also this really cool adjustment called warp, and what that does is warp all your layers, which is really cool that you can do this without having to merge all your layers together. So you can imagine like, oh, maybe I want to bring the house in like this and create more of a trapeze or circus look, or I want to see what it might look like if we just try to go really abstract and weird. So there's a lot of manipulation involved or available to you that you can do. So I'm gonna undo all of that and just kind of flush it out because I'm pretty happy with where it is. I can merge these two back down. And you can consider that a finished practice piece. Of course, we can keep building it out, add some background, add an intricate design on this roof, but again, when you're a beginner, I would really suggest keeping it simple and just know that these tools are available for you to play around with things, keep things on different layers. Say you wanted to see what it might look like if this planet was a different color. You know, if by having it isolated like that, more saturated, less saturated, you can really play around with it. Even play around with the size, like, oh, maybe I want it to be a huge planet or a tiny planet. You can start to see that there's a lot of room here to play around with look and feel of things without having to start all over. I hope that was helpful to see how Procreate can be used to do some really cool adjustments to your paintings.